Hey there, troopers. Rabbit here, and today I want to go over 8 tips for new and returning players that have been in the game of Starship Troopers Extermination for a long while. Alright, so, first gameplay tip. So, if you're getting a little overwhelmed with the amount of bugs that are in your face, well, try to, find some high ground. Now, it can be as simple as climbing on top of a truck, a small building, a shipping container, a blown out wall, heck, even like the outcropping on a cliff, right? Things like that will offer you a bit of safety. Now, mind you, sometimes the bugs can still climb up to you if it's like a hill. So make sure it has a like sheer vertical cliff face type of thing, like shipping containers. They can't climb that, but a hill they can. All right. So once you can find this kind of high ground, reload, heal up if you have healing items, and look around. Maybe there'll be some backup nearby. You can call for help. Scan the environment, try to look for an escape route. Sometimes when you do get up to a high ground, the bugs will just kind of ignore you, and then you can use that opportunity to make a run for it to the next best high ground. You can either do this to get closer to other troopers, or you can get to an objective zone where other troopers are just naturally going to gravitate towards. All right. Also, if you can't retreat and you're absolutely surrounded, the bugs are still with you, which for the most part they will be. Like there is that rare chance where they do break off and do something else, but in case you can't find anywhere else to go, just hunker down and just wait for backup. Especially if you're going to be near the objective zone, people are going to be able to help you out in those cases. All right. So, yeah, don't panic and you'll be okay. All right. Gameplay tip number 2. So, when you are in a very crazy situation, right, where you had to find the high ground or where the bugs are just like absolutely like dogpiling on the team, and people are just dropping left and right, they're dying, everyone's dying. Well, try not to panic. Try not to get locked into decision paralysis. I've seen some people kind of get stuck in that. Find that high ground, like gameplay tip number 1. Take a deep breath. Remember to scan the environment. And then the third thing here, which I did not mention earlier, uh, is that you need to do a little bit of threat assessment. Now, when you're in a situation where you are in the high ground and you have like a moment to like think, right? Take that moment to assess the situation. Is there a enemy ranged unit that can wipe you out? Enemy ranged units can be grenadiers, infernos, gunners, and, well, bombardiers. So let me just go over each of those and tell you why they can be pretty lethal. Plasma Grenadier, the really big blue bug, it shoots out plasma. You can think of it pretty similarly to the Wraith from the Halo games. The tank that the Covenant has, the mortar one. That thing can one hit kill troopers if they're in the immediate blast zone. If you're on the very outer perimeter of it, you'll most likely still die, or you'll be severely injured. and those things can like ragdoll you like really far from your position, thus making it harder to get you revived. All right, then you got the Inferno, the giant scorpion looking thing. It's orange and black in color, and well, it's heavily armored, just like the Plasma Grenadier, but instead of plasma, it shoots a ball of fire. So you may not die right away from a direct hit, but you will die in the next few seconds because the fire and the damage over time, it's like very rapid. So you gotta watch out for that. However, unlike the Plasma Grenadier, the fireball that it spits out, it can be destroyed. So try to destroy it before it gets too high in the air. And yeah, before it reaches like the crescendo, before it like starts dropping down from gravity, try to hit the fireball. That way it detonates prematurely, harmlessly, hopefully, on nothing but the ground. Alright, then you got the most annoying bug of them all, the gunner. Those are like the sniper bugs. They're very relentless. They shoot very fast. There's no cooldown. Once they have you in their sight, they're not going to let you go. So you'll need to break line of sight for several seconds. And even then, when you break out of cover, there's a very high chance that they'll still notice you and start pinging you again. The last one is the Bombardier. Those ones are pretty annoying too because they jump really high in the air and they fall down really fast. You'll know they're nearby when you hear like the screeching sound. You know, like that sound um, the planes make from like those World War II movies. Like that's not a screeching sound when they're doing like a dive bomber run. That kind of sound. One hit kills troopers. Doesn't matter what class you are. Even the Guardian, they'll get one hit killed. The Fire Bombardier variant can also one hit kill upon detonation, but then they also explode in a fireball, which can damage other troopers. So that's also a pain in the butt. So just watch out for all those. Yeah, just be careful. All right. So don't panic in those situations. Try your best to stay calm and collected. You don't want to accidentally, jump down into a death pit like in the base or into the jaws of the waiting tiger. And if you're really stuck on like deciding on what to do next, well, sometimes it's best to just sit still and just kind of blast away at the bugs. That way, you're still contributing to the team. You're getting rid of bugs that could be chomping down on, well, somebody else. Right? When in doubt, go down fighting. Okay, so the next gameplay tip, number 3, run and gun. Don't just run away from the bugs. You want to shoot them. All right. So the tactic here is that you want to, as you're running away from a bug, right? You want to shoot the nearest target because you want to limit the amount of bugs that can chomp on you. So you keep shooting it until you kind of stun it. If you can't, just shoot and keep running. Shoot, keep running. You eventually stun one of them, so just rinse and repeat this method until you can link up with other troopers or you can get to some kind of high ground. All right. Also, make sure to not shoot all your rounds. You want to leave one in the chamber because reloading from 0, there's like a extra animation, right, where you either gotta rack the slide or the bolt or even the pump on a shotgun. And depending on the weapon, it can take forever for that to complete. You can see this really easy if you try to reload on 0 empty when you're using a pump shotgun. Compare that to when you leave one in the chamber. Same for the Triple X sniper rifle. It's a real big pain in the butt to reload from 0 for both of those types of weapons. So if you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. All right. Okay. One last thing about running and gunning. This tactic can be applied in the opposite direction. So if the team is like bogged down, right, and they just refuse to budge, and they're just like camping, well, a tactic that a lot of troopers just naturally do is like they um, shoot, and then they move up just a few meters at a time, and they pause, stand still, shoot, move up. So it's kind of like a tug of war. Most times you'll see people doing this tactic, and sometimes you'll see people just get locked down and they refuse to move. That's when individual troopers need to then kind of like just move up on their own, like kind of leading by example. That allows other people to start getting the message like, oh, we need to kind of move up a little bit, right? Because you need to get to the objective or even get to the base to build the base, right? So when the bugs start to kind of thin out a little bit, when the wave of bugs starts to not hit as hard, that's when you know you can move up a little bit and then repeat the cycle until the bugs are gone. Okay, so that's gameplay tip number 3. Let's talk about gameplay tip number 4. Grenades and class ability. Well, don't forget that you have both of them, especially the grenades, because those can help open up a gap in a scrum to either allow you to revive someone or even get them off of an objective. And the same goes for the ability. Depending on what you have, can unleash a barrage of grenades. You can use it to get to high ground if you're like a sniper. Or if you're like a medic, you can send out a UAV drone to go and revive someone while you can go and do something else and multitask, right? So use these as often as possible. They will regenerate, and sometimes you can use these to make an escape route for your team. All right, so easy to forget, but um, something you'll need to remember to use. Okay, looking at my notes, that was tip 4. We're gonna go to tip 5. Don't know what to do? Well, then there's a couple things you can do. One of them is to open the tactical map. So mouse keyboard, that's going to be tab. What it is on the controllers, I have no idea. You're going to need to check out your controller settings. I don't use a controller, so I can't help you with that. But that should be still accessible to you to check on your own. So open the tactical map, or for short, people just call it a TAC map. There'll be a list of objectives for you to accomplish. Some of them, depending on the game mode, will be secondary. So keep an eye out for those. But look for the primary objectives. And then just kind of make your way towards them. You could click on the icon for the objectives, and then once you exit TAC map, should be highlighted on your HUD once you're back into the game itself. All right. So for objectives, try not to do things solo. Sometimes you'll see me do that, but That's just because I'm pretty experienced in the game and I kind of know when to push the boundaries. It also depends on the class that you have. Like Ranger, Sniper, Medic, they're pretty good at going solo for certain things. Sometimes a Guardian, sometimes a Demolisher. But it all kind of depends on how confident you feel in your ability. But for the most part, don't go solo because this game will pretty much punish you in a team. When you go down and no one can revive you, you spend a reinforcement ticket. Excuse me. You'll spend a reinforcement ticket, and then if you go through all of them, everybody loses the game together. So try not to do that. All right. Also, as an extra thing, don't worry about kill stealing in this game. As long as someone damaged the bug and it dies, everyone gets credit for the kill. This is a team co-op kind of game, so it doesn't matter who gets the final blow. Everyone will get the credit for it. Don't worry about your kill death ratio. It's not that kind of game. Doesn't matter if you kill 500 or even 1,000. What really matters is that the team accomplishes the objectives together and completes them together and extracts together at the end. Right? It's a team game, and you really got to work with your teammates. All right. Gameplay tip number 6: revive other troopers. And I don't know what the button is for the controller, but by default, mouse keyboard, I believe it's E. So everybody has the capability to revive other troopers. It's a matter of caring, right? So, like I mentioned, this is a team co-op game where everybody needs to work together. If you're not picking someone up that has been incapacitated, well, you're not a good team player. The expectation is that everybody heals each other, covers each other, revives each other. And if you're really scrounging around for like XP, you do get points for reviving people. Okay. So, the more people that you can keep alive means the more guns you have on the field to eliminate bug threats. And it just makes it easier to accomplish the objectives, right? Because you're always going to be attacked by the bugs. There's no reason why you shouldn't go and revive someone unless you're like super trolling or you're some kind of asshole that doesn't want to like revive people. No one's going to like you if you don't, help the team out like that. All right. So I just got to say it straight like that. You got to do your best effort to revive people. All right. Moving into gameplay tip number 7. Sometimes you need to be adaptable, and sometimes you need to be kind of rigid in the way that you play the game. All right, so let's talk about being kind of formulaic and rigid first. So let's take, for example, base building. The best way to build a base is to first build structures around the critical asset, right? Depending on the game mode, like for example, Horde, that's going to be the mobile HQ. But for advanced and secure and arc mode, that's going to be around the arc. Typically, those structures are going to be 3 walls and a small gate. However, some people might say should build a big perimeter around the base first. Well, again, you might just run out of ore, right? And then kind of depending on the game mode. If it's Horde and Arc, you're definitely going to run out of ore before you can create a large perimeter. So in these game modes, you need to build around those critical assets first. Right? It's a tried and true method, and it just prevents the bugs from getting some cheap shots on the bugs, or not on the bugs, but on the critical assets. All right, so that's an example when it should be rigid and formulaic. It works. If it's not broke, don't fix, right? However, there's other cases where you do need to be a little more open. For example, sometimes troopers might have a unique way to handle destroying a bug hole. You might think like, oh, someone's crazy to run towards the bug hole, and like you're yelling at them, maybe like, "What are you doing? Don't do that. You're just gonna waste a reinforcement ticket." But what if that person had a demo charge, a nuclear det pack, or even a proximity bug mine, where they do need to get close, right? Well, in that case, they're trying to, help the team out and close that bug hole. So you need to be a little flexible in the way you approach things like that. Same with like how you might approach defending a refinery. Some people might say you need to, wait for the entire team to get there, or even wait for an engineer to build up a bunch of short walls around them. However, some people might say like, oh, well, I got a different idea. What if we can um, have a guardian drop a shock device and maybe even a mobile turret? I mean, that can work too, right? Uh, so sometimes some plans just need to be adapted for the current situation that you're in. You can plan something out as much as you want, but sometimes those plans are just going to crumble as soon as you encounter an enemy. Sometimes the mutators might even change that, and even the way in which you interact with other troopers might change how a plan plays out. So try not to grief too much, and do your best to be a team player, and hopefully that works out for everybody. All right, well that's that for that one. Okay, gameplay tip number 8, the last one. All right, so if you are feeling really stuck, confused, or you need more gameplay tips, well, you can check out I have a few gameplay tips playlists. I have a playlist dedicated to gameplay tips, news updates, things like that. And I also have a separate playlist for loadout builds, so stuff that's like pretty optimized. Some of them might be a little experimental, but for the most part, these builds can be pretty effective. So check them out. They'll be linked in the video's description, and hopefully that can help you get a better first time experience compared to what I had to go through. I had to experiment with everything. There was no hand holding, so everything was just by experience, right? Oof. Some of them were really rough days. All right, well, before you head out, I appreciate if you can hit the like button. Leave a little comment if you are confused about something or you need some extra tips. And if someone has extra gameplay tips, this is just very bare bones stuff, but if you have some extra tips that you think could help out other people, definitely send that in the comments as well. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Change that notification to all, and well, hopefully that'll help you stay informed of when I upload these kinds of videos. Alright, well, thanks for your time, and I gotta go. See you in the field, troopers. Bye-bye.
Cover me! Reloading! Troopers, you have 10 seconds to get that base online.
Kill them all, boys.
Get online, troopers. A new wave of arachnids are on their way. On the bounce.
Grenade going out!
Trauma stabilized. Vital signs critical.
Get back in the fight. Get on your feet, Trooper.
30 seconds remaining. You have 10 seconds left. Get a move on. All ground Vanguard units. Fleet has a bird on its way to get you people home. Fire out.
You look a little crowded down there. Ultra One is inbound for inspection.
Let's go home, gentlemen.